All right. Okay. And we are live.
All
right. Okay. Welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporters Company Spotlight. Today, I am speaking once again with next super stock presenter. Weyland tech stock symbol is WEYL over the counter, and the CEO is Brent Suen. Brent, welcome.
Thanks, Jack. Pleasure to be here.
Brent, great to have you back. Last week we had you on our next Superstock live stream. You had the formal presentation with a great, I think we had about 400 people in that audience, that was your first presentation, so that was a good start. And hopefully next time we'll have, we'll get, a couple thousand. But I think that investors, they were intrigued, but I have a feeling that they didn't quite understand the story. They didn't quite understand the Weyland story, because if they did, the stock would be $15 today instead of $5.
Sure.
So I guess the point of today's live stream is kind of, maybe you can explain a little bit more about what you're doing in especially in the Southeast, in the Indonesia market, Jakarta, the whole Southeast Asia opportunity. Why it's such a big opportunity?
Okay.
And maybe we could start off with today's news, with this week's news with Shopify.
Certainly. Okay. Yes. So on the 27th, we announced that we're launching a joint marketing campaign with a company named Shopify. So to put it in perspective, Shopify is one of the main divisions of a Southeast Asian-based company named SEA Limited. Not widely known in the mainstream. However, if you look at their stock, their ticker symbol is SE. And they did their IPO in the New York Stock Exchange roughly about 2 years ago. So from that time, the share price has risen from $8 a share to a recent high of $125 a share. They currently command an almost $60 billion market cap. And quite interestingly, you look at Southeast Asia on whole, there's almost 700 million people there. There are companies there that have been in business for 80, 100 years that are on major exchanges, but currently SEA is the most valuable company in all of Southeast Asia, eclipsing bank stocks with trillions of dollars in assets and deposits, state-owned oil companies that compete with ExxonMobil, telcos that have hundreds of millions of subscribers. So it's been a major success story. And I think it begs the question, why? So financial technology, e-commerce in Southeast Asia, and specifically Indonesia, is right now the hottest theme on Wall Street. However, there's only one stock that you can participate in, and it's SEA. And just to frame it a little further, this January, when their share price was about 42, a fund manager in New York.
Wait, Brent, there's two stocks. There's SE and there's Weyland.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Forgive me. I forgot about us. But in terms of large cap, institutional favorite, sort of somewhat more well known, SEA. So in January of this year, Tiger Management, which is a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, primarily focusing around tech stocks, put it on their favorite list. About a week or two later, when the share price was up in the low 50s, Goldman Sachs, which everyone has heard of, put it on their conviction buy list. So since that time, it has more than doubled for clients of Goldman Sachs that went in. But if you look back 2 years ago, it was $8. Before their IPO, they were privately held and valued through multiple stages. I would say that when they were call it 5 years, about 5 years ago, about the same size we are.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So essentially the trajectory, the possibility. So this stock symbol is SE. So 5 years ago they were the same size. You're doing roughly 40 million revenues right now, 41 million revenues.
Trailing 12 revenues, yes, 41 million.
Okay.
We've publicly stated that we believe that our revenues this year should be close to 50 million.
50. Okay. And the market cap is still what? What's the market cap as of today?
Let's see. As of today, about 60 million.
60 million. Okay, so roughly 1x. Barely 1x. Whereas companies in the space what are they trading at? The multiples are what? Like in the mobile commerce, m-commerce, e-commerce.
The low valuations are around 12x revenues, and the higher ones, if you look at Shopify, I believe they're 30x revenues. SEA, which has similar parts of their business to us, I believe it's about 23x revenue.
Okay. So the upside,
a big disparity, yes.
Okay, so the upside, I guess, is here. I guess the this is the key is, and I don't know why investors haven't figured this out, is when they do when that valuation gap shrinks, you have it's basically a 10x opportunity.
Yes, there is.
Which is why look, I mean, and that's really one of the key reasons why we have you on this next Superstock live stream events, because our premise is we're looking to present to our audience stocks which have that 10x to even 100x upside, and we've had like 3 winners, and everybody knows we have had like at least 3 companies this year up between 12x, 20x. So I think definitely once investors better understand this, you can have this opportunity. So let's talk about this news. The news with ShopeePay. Tell us what the deal is and what it really means for the future of the company.
Okay, certainly. So to frame it, SEA has 3 main business units. They have e-commerce or mobile commerce for Southeast Asia. They have mobile gaming, and then they have an e-wallet, which is basically like a Square or a Venmo or Apple Pay. It's a cashless way to pay for things, which in today's environment has taken the forefront. So those three business units have contributed to their rise in revenues, their exposure in the marketplace, and their call it favoritism by some major investment firms and investment funds. So if you look at their e-commerce business, they sell what are called their own products and services. That's called their captive ecosystem. So people will hear that phrase a lot in the e-commerce space. And so it's essentially just products that are under your own roof, okay, their ecosystem. Their e-wallet that they have enables people to pay for things within their own ecosystem. So as we've described before, we have two lines of business in Indonesia, and then a third that we're getting ready to launch, which I'll speak about shortly. We have an e-wallet called ATOS Pay. It's completely agnostic, so there is no ecosystem that we have that enables. We designed it for lower income people to enable them to pay for everyone else's goods and services, transportation, so bus and train tickets, utilities, electric, water. If they want to fill up their scooter or motorcycle, or if they have cars, they can fill up with their e-wallet from ATOS Pay. And then last fall, we launched a foot-based food delivery business called ATOS Go. The difference between ATOS Go and the 2 incumbents in Indonesia, which are Grab Food and Go Food, which are similar to SEA, multi-billion-dollar funding valuations. They're privately held, but
so you're like you have this delivery system. It's like an Uber, basically.
It is, but it's on foot. So
right.
yeah. So if someone is in their office or at home, they use the app, they order food. It's hyper local, so it's within the square block. It goes to a courier in the area. He or she will go to that vendor, pick up the food, and deliver it within 15 minutes versus the average of 45 for the larger competitors. So that's the value add.
That's a big difference. So it's like so it's basically it's speed. It's everybody wants speed. If they're hungry, they get their food, especially if it's hot. They want it now.
Yes.
So 15 minutes fresh instead of having traffic for an hour.
Right. Exactly. So what led ShopeePay or SEA to us is that we've got about 1,000 couriers that are running around on foot. They've got orange vests. It says ATOS Go. They're clearly hearing about it, albeit on a smaller scale. But what they're undergoing right now on the e-commerce side at SEA is expanding beyond their own ecosystem, selling products from other people. So when they approached us, their vision was, let's partner with ATOS Pay. We'll go to our users and say, you can order hot meals that will be delivered to you in 15 minutes or less. And we fulfill that. We literally this morning just finished the integration of the platform, which is in beta stage as of this morning. And we expect to go live within 2 weeks.
Okay. And what else? So what else do you have? So you have this delivery platform in Indonesia. I guess it's in Jakarta. What other e-commerce, m-commerce opportunities are you going after? Because you're doing like the 41 million revenues. Where is that money coming from? How is that going to go up?
That's a great question. All right. So to put it in context, our core business, Jack, is Create App. We call it the Shopify of mobile. I would like to explain what that means and why it's important, and then how is it different. So if you look at Shopify, they as well as other e-commerce stocks have seen a massive rise, even during the midst of COVID. That stock has gone up 300%. They've got a $125 billion market cap. So it's no secret their success is based around more people staying at home, more people shopping at home, and enabling websites. Okay, so you and I are on computer right now. Okay, that's what we've basically grown up with. That's called the desktop environment. Shopify enables that. So if you and I have our own bricks and mortar business, we want to get online, we use Shopify. They are giving us a set of tools to have a desktop e-commerce site that is optimized for mobile. Now that means it's a mobile website. So that's great here because 75, 80% of the population uses their desktop. Okay. If you look at emerging markets, and the one that we're focused on specifically, Indonesia, it's the exact opposite. 75% of the people there do not have desktops. They have mobile phones. So therefore, offering them a website, it doesn't make sense because they're not using the desktops, they're using the phone. So what do? Well, Create App is a small business, get online within 2 hours, and you have your own mobile app. Not a website for mobile, but an actual app for the small business within 2 hours. So we are literally just launching into Indonesia now. And to give you an idea of the
it's an app. So like, let's say you're a business, I don't know, whatever. Let's say you have a barber shop. I mean, so basically 2 hours.
Exactly.
And you can make appointments.
It is that simple. They can promote specials. People can book appointments. If they want to set up for hair coloring, styling, whatever.
Buy food. They can buy food, whatever all their needs.
Literally any business, ranging from law firms to doctors' offices to home-based businesses to convenience stores, gas stations. It's applicable to all, and we actually have templates for almost all businesses.
Okay.
I believe it's over 200 businesses that we have instant templates for. So it enables anyone and everyone.
Okay, so basically, you're essentially enabling anybody, in Indonesia or in Southeast Asia, but that's your main thing, is to, create an app, so they can, be in business, like a Shopify thing. Why, I guess one of the things is, Indonesia is, it's a massive country. Unfortunately, Americans are geographically challenged. They may not know what the size of the opportunity. So can you explain exactly why Indonesia, Southeast Asia, the market you're in, why it's such a massive opportunity?
Definitely. Okay. So, and just as an aside, although I am now here in the U.S., I spent 16 years working in Asia. So I was based in Hong Kong, Singapore, Jakarta, and Bangkok. So I've lived and worked in Asia, which is why we started Weyland Tech there, and we have a specific focus there. Now, if you look at Indonesia in terms of ranking of population, it's currently number 4. There's, and I say this because there are estimates between 260 million and as many as 300 million people. The census platform there is a little different than here. So you may not have the full picture of population. So there's a lot of people, 4th most populous country. There is a tremendous increase in per capita income. And as it relates to us and SEA, fintech, mobile commerce, mobile gaming, e-wallets, that is the focal point of everything right now in Indonesia and Southeast Asia, because it is enabling literally everything: information, learning, businesses getting online, making commerce more efficient, because they're still behind the rest of the world. So if you look at the business landscape there, not only in Southeast Asia, but in Indonesia, 99% of the businesses in total are micro to small businesses. That means literally mom and pop shops, two and 3 person stores. And how many are there in Indonesia? There's about 60 million micro to small businesses there. For us, the total addressable market for Create App is a bit smaller, but it's still 10 million micro to small businesses. Currently on our entire platform around the world, we have about 370,000 small businesses. So as you can see, around the
you have 370,000 customers right now.
Correct. And that's all outside of Indonesia. So we've got almost no presence there yet. The way that we entered the market was the e-wallet and the food delivery service, and now we are starting to launch Create App in there. So what we end up capturing out of that 10 million small businesses could be significant.
Okay. Brent, we got about 10 minutes left. But so I want to get to the main point of what this is about, which is investors really, what is it that they want to know? They want to know, what are the catalysts? What are the catalysts that are going to, what do you have like near term that could unleash that value, close that valuation gap where the stock is now and that 10x potential? So what do you have coming up which can have a massive impact?
Certainly. I think the main thing is more investor exposure. Our story is not out there. And if you look back 2 years ago, the story wasn't out there for SEA as well. You look back, call it 3-4 years ago, Shopify was certainly not a household name. It absolutely is today. So exposure to the investment community is the main thing. And that comes by way of several things. One is the format and venue that we're working on with you, and thank you. The second is exposure by way of partnerships that we have. For example, we literally just signed with SEA this week. We announced it on our end. SEA Corporate is just now getting it up the chain from Shopify about the launch that's upcoming. Should they announce that they're going outside of their own ecosystem, they're launching into the food delivery business, which for them is extremely important because they're going up against the other 2 incumbents there who are, by the way, smaller than they are in terms of valuation. but quite formidable nonetheless. So if SEA comes out and starts to describe their initiative in the food delivery business with us as a partner, that comes out on their end. Their investor community sees that. The Wall Street Journal, Barron's, New York Times, local media in Southeast Asia picks that up. That gets our story out. That is the catalyst that propels a number of companies. And
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like the fundamentals are there. It's just that the company is basically undiscovered just because the market you're in is just not familiar to. It's not amazing. It's America does not understand Indonesia, the size of the opportunity. It's just something that's not on their radar. It's it's probably. I think Europeans probably get it, but Americans just don't get it. But once they see the revenues, once they see other things happen, I think we could definitely see that. Let's get some. I think we got some questions coming in from YouTube. Johnny, do you hold any patents?
That's actually a good question, Johnny. We did not file for patents because opening that up, it was a question of either time to market and working with what we have, or publicizing it. So we have filed for some trademarks and copyrights on certain assets. We do not hold any patents per se, but we do have IP, especially on our e-wallet and functionality around it, as well as the functionality around Create app.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So let's get back to we got like 2 minutes left. So Brent, the favorite question we always ask on these interviews is, top 3 reasons why investors should consider Weyland stock today.
Sure. I think first and foremost, you look at it thematically. The theme right now is stay at home. Who are the beneficiaries of that? All of the top performing stocks lately have been the beneficiaries of that. So that theme exists with all aspects of our business. So you do cursory due diligence on us. You look at our website, you read and understand from our filings and our business model. You'll see that we have all those elements. Secondly, the valuation gap. Same thing. Look at companies in our space, and the ones I mentioned, the ones that they compete against, the handful that operate in Southeast Asia, of which it's just us and SEA. You look at the valuation disparity, and does that tell you, is there adequate or is there compelling reward to risk? I think that's an easily answered question. And then third, again, and we point to this, look at the management team on our website, look at their depth of experience, look at the breadth of their skill sets and capabilities. Look at some of the customers we have that are listed on there, and follow our announcements. And as you see the progress of what we've been talking about coming to fruition, I think that should provide a very compelling reason to take a look at investing in this.
Excellent. Brent, on that note, I want to thank you for your time, and we're going to have you back. You're going to be doing a presentation probably August 12th that week for the next Superstock live stream. So we're definitely looking forward to some good news flow between now and then. Excellent. And thank you, everybody in our audience, for joining us.
Great. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Have a great weekend, Brent.
You too.